If you want to learn how to trade just like me, join the community, click the private Discord link, sign up through this membership level, and you will gain access to weekly group mentorship calls for free. Has Quant now started its journey to $1,000? Let's discuss that in today's update. Please do stay tuned. Help me grow the channel by liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing these updates. I've also got a few days left on my discount on my course. Any further questions or details, wait until the end of this video or instantly click the links in the description down below to head over to the website. Now, I think that the most important Fibonacci to use is of a certain level where we were flipping bearish initially, which was $150 back in January of 2022 over here. So the very beginning of last year, we were marking out a key level over here of $150. We suggested that there was a head and shoulders pattern, and not a lot of people wanted to believe me back in the time. This is actually where I gained a lot of Quant followers back here, because a lot of people weren't listening that, or just didn't want to hear that their investment would go down and that we were entering a bear market. But for me, the structure was being lost over here, which was this higher low that sent us to 400. If you ever lose that, we're losing uptrend structure, because that would be a loss of a higher low. That would be considered a lower low, and we can see that was eventually the case here. We were getting trolled on this rally up and this rally up over here, but I still maintain the stance where if we stay below $150, that we would be going to my $70 target. We smashed through my $70 target completely over here, and then we took it level by level, 50, 40, and if we ever reclaimed 50, which was right over here, this is where I said the bulls are back now. The bulls are back in town. The bulls are back in town. That was awful, but you know what I mean. This is where I told you guys to get in. And it was also this area over here, because there was an upward sloping trend line. I'm not going to draw it because you guys are going to think I'm making it up, but here was an upward sloping trend line for this head and shoulders pattern, as well as the horizontal. If you remember my videos from back in the end of 2021 and the beginning of 2022, you would have remembered this, that I had these two lines. One was upward sloping, one was horizontal. We were waiting for the horizontal one to be broken, and over here when I was getting trials, I said you need to break above 175. Look, that's 171, so quite close. And the same thing again, you need to break above 175. We never did. And then that's why, as long as we maintained below 150, we eventually continued lower. It was from this point where we started to buy Quant again, and it was over here as we retested this as resistance, where I told everyone to get out. So that was a very nice gain over here on the channel, a 250+% gain, given totally free over here on the channel. If you want me to teach you how to do those things, wait until the end of the video to hear more about that. And this was essentially where we said to get out, and it was back down here where we wanted to get back in. While we were holding above $94 to $100 over this whole year, we were suggesting that this is a great time to DCA. Just looking at the previous high, we are just believing that any price below the high, especially at around the 100 or even sub 100, is going to be a great long-term investment, because once we're eventually up here at 400, you're only going to look back and say, I wish I bought more down at 100 or even below. So we did actually manage to get some at 50, and then of course over here at 94 to 100, and some down here. There were some targets to the downside. We'll look into that today. We can see that the 0.5 Fibonacci was very close to our target, which was $75 to $78. This is just $1 above 79. The reason being was we had a $75 wick right down there. Let me just double check what that was for you guys. That wick is down at 77, and I think it's down here that's at 75. Yeah, right there. So it was around this area. We were looking at the moment we lost this golden pocket over here, $94 to $100, that we were going to start seeing some further dumps. We were also calling for this head and shoulders pattern, where I was getting a lot of hate for online over here, simply because people were saying it's not head and shoulders. Well, it eventually played out, met the target, and that's why we got this bounce. There were some further targets to the downside, that is correct, because there was another head and shoulders pattern over here, a larger one. Using that smaller one actually as a right shoulder, and then here with the shoulder head and right shoulder over here. We technically haven't invalidated that at the moment, but the reason why we got this bounce over the last week is because we met the smaller ones over here target down at $83, $83, $84. And with that, it's going to always bring us a bounce after meeting a target, just like we met this target over here out of this previous head and shoulders. This is why I gave you that massive sell signal to get rid of your quant as we were expecting downside. We can see from the rejection over there, not at the actual top, but from the rejection, this was a 60% dump. So nice if you got out and then started to buy some over here. You would have been getting a lot more quant tokens with the same amount of money, because you're maintaining the dollar, euro, pound value. And then of course this is going down, you have the same amount, now just buying at cheaper, you're going to get more coins out of there. And so when it does actually get up to $1,000 plus, this is going to bring you some very nice gains. So the reason why we were speaking about $1,000 at the beginning of this video is because we were looking at this most important fib, I think, at the moment. Simply because we can actually see, again, this was where we were maintaining bearish. The moment we lost this, the bear market begins. We can also see, yes, we did get above it, but we hit the trend line, came back underneath the 150 mark and confirmed it as resistance. So there's a lot of things telling me that this is the most important level going ahead if we want a bull market for quant. So $150 is the level that we need to tackle. It's quite interesting because we were talking about this for a year ago or 2 years ago, and we're again talking about it here today. Now the reason why we were pointing at $1,000 is simply, as I'm using the fibs from here to here, it's telling us where we should get rejected for downtrend continuation, but everything changed over here. So that's why I was also mentioning that we could come down to 75 because as you can see, it's nicely in line with the 0.5 Fibonacci, but also when we got through the golden pocket to create the reversal wave, that is pretty much where we found support. So you just need to maintain that area going forward, and we will eventually see $1,000. Okay, so for now, as we flip this into support, this previous resistance that was meant to send us lower, creating the reversal wave and confirming this as support, we're essentially creating the reversal wave, guys. And with that, you validate all of these targets above the 1 fib level. The only thing that's standing in the way is that 1 fib level. So everything changed when we flipped this area into support. We then broke the 1 fib level. That meant that we were continuing to all of these targets up here. We actually met the first one at the 1.272 at $221. This was exactly the same area as my head and shoulders neckline, which we were anticipating to be resistance. And essentially, guys, this could be looked as a cheat sheet, this chart, because we just came back down to the golden pocket, basically where we need to come back down to, just to confirm that this is technically bullish. So we could actually sit here and say that quant has been bullish this whole time, simply because we broke through the golden pocket early, halfway through 2022. So we can actually say that quant has been bullish since July last year, guys. It's just that we have personally been bearish on the channel since October, November time last year with the FTX capitulation. We got out over here, the FTX dump, and then eventually came. We said that we would get a dead cat bounce, which then confirmed that $150 area into resist. This could actually be my most important quant update, so I don't even know what I'm going to call the title for the moment. Yeah, you just came down to those areas that were keeping you bullish, that flipped this into the reverse wave, because remember, it's from this area that when we came up into it, it should actually continue lower. Everything changed by reclaiming it July 2022. We just got the sell signal over here, FTX capitulated over here. We said that we're going to get a dead cat bounce with this head and shoulders over here. Target was met, and that is above the key level of support, which flipped this all bullish. And while we still maintain above $75, which was where we were considering if we held below 100 to actually continue down to as our next target, we just need to hold above that. So we've seen this reversal at the moment after meeting the head and shoulders target. That's actually reclaimed $100 and the 200 daily moving average, as well as getting a daily bullish crossover here. Multiple things that are now saying that quant is bullish, expecting upside. There are of course key levels ahead, and I've already mentioned them in the last update. I told you that was $115. We've also got the 786 there now, and it's actually over here that we need to tackle next to get that final pump up to 150, simply because when we're coming back up into this area, we're looking at the golden pocket for rejections, but it's also the 786 that could be the deepest retracement before flipping this back into resistance. and continuing lower. So we could actually get trapped underneath this point and start to head back down. So I'm watching out for that $115 area. But again, guys, if we can continue to hold above 75 and 79, this 0.5 Fibonacci also marked out by that low, that's why we're saying 75, maintain that, break through eventually the $150 area, which is our 1 Fibonacci, and then we have to say that all of these targets should eventually get met. Right now, they are all technically valid because we created the reversal wave, and when you create the reversal wave, as long as you maintain it, which is $75, all targets should eventually be met. So we can sit here today and say that $1,000 is on a technicality valid for Quant. We just know the criteria that needs to be fulfilled, which is now maintain above $75, and we could see some crazy gains in our upcoming future. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If any of you are interested in learning how to trade just like me, there's multiple options. Click this ebook. It covers all the strategies that I use in these YouTube updates, so you will have all the same skills. Covers the Japanese candlestick, chart patterns, support and resistance, why I use EMAs over trend lines, Fibonacci's, divergences, and again, using these all together to profit using them. I've also got a discount on my course at the moment, which ends at the end of this month. So that's down to £100. You also gain free access to my Discord community for the next 3 months, where you can expect to be a part of 12 to 24 group mentorship calls. If you want something that's a bit more personalized to your needs, then join my one-to-one mentorship plan. You can choose 5 or 10 hours of my one-to-one help, and included will be the 3 months free in the community, as well as my 6-hour long video course.